Hey guys, Mark here from World Multisport. In today's video we're talking about how to warm up for your run. The 5-minute warm up you need to do for every run session. So why do we warm up? The thing with running is that's where the highest risk of injury is. So whether you're doing an easy aerobic run or a hard interval run, this is a warm up you want to do regardless of the type of run you're doing. And it's just a simple 5-minute warm up with a series of dynamic exercises that will get you into the best physical and mental state so you can have a good run. And that's what we all want. The first part of the warm-up is I always work from the top down. So I've developed a routine to make sure I go through the same exercises each time. The first exercise is just doing some arm swings like so. So our goal here is just to get a little bit of movement through our upper body, around our shoulders, neck, open up the chest a little bit. And as you're doing it, you're just squeezing your shoulder blades together, making sure things are just opening up and you're not hunched over, and it helps you get to that position where you're going to run tall and proud and just swinging up and around, okay, like so. And you're doing it for about that sort of 20 to 30 seconds until you start to feel as though you've got a bit more movement and a bit more range through your arms. Even though when we're running it's primarily a lower body exercise, we still need to have good posture and good natural arm swing. Next one is we're looking at doing some rotation through our torso. So this one, your feet standing a little bit further than shoulder width apart. I want you to lock your trunk down, so engage your glutes. Keep your head reasonably still, and you're just twisting through the torso, and you're using your arm's natural swing just to help you move around. This is actually starting to turn on your core, which is obviously really important when we're running, and start to engage your glutes. So don't just let your hips rotate around too much, lock them in and just get a bit of rotation. Again, you want to squeeze your shoulder blades together so you're getting that upright posture. So when we run, we want to run with an upright posture, doing it for around that 20 to 30 seconds. And as you can feel a bit more movement, just try and go a little bit further with your rotation until you're just feeling as though you've got that nice dynamic stretch and you've got a good range of movement. Moving on to the lower body, now we're working on our groin. So this one is, keeping into that dynamic movement. We're going side to side, like so. So the feet are reasonably far apart, holding for a couple of seconds, and then on to the other side. And you're just getting the stretch up through your groin, just by holding for 1 or 2 seconds, getting that dynamic movement side to side. And as you feel a little bit more range, as you feel as though it's warming up a bit, you might want to go a bit deeper on the stretch. So you notice my toes come off the ground, but the heel stays on the ground. And it's just, so we're lifting your body's core temperature, and we're just getting the muscles actually ready to run. Like always, you're doing it for about that 20 to 30 seconds, or until you feel as though you've got that good stretch through the dynamic movement. So while we've got our legs nice and far apart, we're going to go on to the next one. So we're keeping those legs nice and wide, and we want a little bit of flexion and extension through our hips. I'm going to reach forward, under, and then back with my hands like so. So we're reaching forward, reaching under, and then we're reaching back. All right? And you don't need to have your hands touch the ground at all. But this is good because we're getting a little bit of a stretch through our lower back as well, and we're just getting a little bit more groin, and it's starting to stretch our hamstrings also. And just that little bit of dynamic movement forward, under, and then back. Our next one is also for the legs, is our hamstring stretch. So like on the previous one where we're doing that dynamic flexion and extension through your hips, I'm going to turn side on. All we're looking at doing here is just taking little steps forward and reaching down, getting close to our toes. Knees are slightly bent, legs don't have to be straight at all, and you're getting that stretch through your hamstring, okay? Little steps forward, little steps back, that flexion and extension through your hips, just to help get that stretch through the hamstring muscle, which is what you want. So it's that dynamic movement continuing again. Next one is for your calf muscles and your Achilles tendon. Like the other exercises, we've got a little bit of dynamic flexion and extension through your hips, and we're taking short steps forward and short steps back, and we're bringing our toes up to our fingers as we're doing it. So like so, bring your left toe up to your left hand, right toe up to your right hand, and so on. And you'll take a few steps forward, and then you'll take a few steps back. Just getting that good dynamic movement through your lower body. And as you're feeling a bit more stretch, maybe you can just reach your hands further around under the balls of your feet. And the final one is for our quads, but also helps to open up our hip flexors. And the great benefit about this last one is it is a core stability exercise. So when we run, we want to make sure our core is turned on and we're running efficiently. The way it works is we take a lunge forward, but we also we're putting our hand back. So if I'm going to lunge forward with my left leg, my right hand's going to go back over my head so it opens up through my hip flexor. And the way it works is so we lunge forward. So if my left leg goes forward, when my right hand goes back, right leg forward, left hand back, and change it up. And you're staying nice and stable, so I don't want to be sort of wobbling around, and you're getting that stretch through that back leg as the knee touches the ground. Great stretch for the quad, hip flexor, and then also just helps turn on the core, so you're going to be running with stability and you're going to be running efficiently. So they're the exercises that I recommend you do before every run, whether that be an easy run or a hard run. It just puts you into a good routine. So physically, core body temperature rises, your muscles are more limber, injury risk is reduced, but also mentally it just allows you to start to think about, what's your objective for the session? Is it an easy run where you want to, build aerobic endurance? Is it a hard interval session? And they're the type of things that you can think about when you're going through your dynamic warm-up. Get into that routine, do it for every run. I guarantee you're going to have a much better outcome and you're going to enjoy your running a lot more, but more importantly, the risk of injury is going to be reduced as well.